Now let's see, where is that waterfront? Oh, there it is. I'll just make my way down the trail here.
Oh, come here, Ryden.
Well, hello everyone.
Come here, look.
Anin Wichkiwin. Marlin Nindishnakas. Nozoshiwanag Anishinabe Aki. My name is Marlin, and I'm a member of the Ojibwe Nation. Now, some people call us, well, the First Nations people, but in my own language, we call ourselves the Mississauga Anishinaabe. And I want to teach you a few words in the Anishinaabe language. To say hello, we say Ani. Everyone try that. Ani. And to say how are you, you say Anishna. Try that out. Anishna. And if you're doing well, we say Nishin. Try that out. Nishin. Well, do you know that the Anishinaabe, we've lived along this river for many years. And I like to take what was called the Weekwas Jima, or canoe, and go down to the Gaminge, the shoreline, and paddle up and down the Nebai, up and down the river. And, well, we would spend the summer at our fish camps. It was in the fall of the year, once it started to get colder, that we would roll up the Weekwas, and, well, the birch bark, because we lived in houses called wigwams, made from birch bark. We would roll up the birch bark, and we would paddle south to our winter camps. I like to think of the winter as being the storytelling season, because, well, the older people told lots of great stories, like the story of Nanabojo and the Wendigos, or the story of Ochik and Makwa. Now, in the spring of the year, we would go into the bush and look for those sugar maple trees, because we could tap them for sap to boil down to make yummy maple syrup. Well, once the summer came, we'd paddle right back here to our fish camps. Now, it was about 300 years ago that other people started to come to the shoreline. Yep, they came from places like France and England, Ireland and Scotland. Some of them were pioneers, and some of them were those paddling fur traders, and you're going to meet one of them right now. Anin Wichkiwin. Bye, everyone. Well, men, bye-bye. Well, that bonbon, actually bon, that bonbon, mamie, m'appelle, that bonbon, actually bon, that bonbon, mamie, m'attend. Derrière chez nous, y'a tenez toi, toi beau canal sans bombignon. La bonbon, la jolie bon, la bonbon, mamie, m'appelle, la bonbon, la jolie bon, la bonbon, mamie, m'attend. Well, bonjour. Comment ça va? Je suis fatigué. Je m'appelle Roger Charlebois. That's right. My name is Roger Charlebois, and I want to tell you a bit about my story. And it begins in the east. Can you point to the east? Which direction? Just don't point to the sky and you'll be okay. The east, that's right. Très bien. My story began at a place called La Chine. Today they call Montreal. You see, I was a farmer. But being the year 1786, I hear there is work with a company called the Northwest Company. Well, I make my way down to the dock there, and I meet with the bourgeois, the boss. He gave me one of these, I was not sure what to do at first, but I learned very quickly, because every day we do about 30,000 strokes. Let's count. Ready? On y va. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you get the idea. Many, many strokes. And my journey often ended at a place called Lake Gitchiguming, the largest lake in the world. Now, there's another name for that. Anybody know Lakes? Lake Superior, huh? Also known as Lake Gitchiguming. Well, did you meet my friend Marlin? Well, Marlin is, the Anishinaabe, very good at hunting and trapping. So in my canoe, I would bring blankets, pots and pans, metal axes, and I would trade with Marlin to get the furs. It was the fur trade, for sure. My favorite being the beaver pelt. Now, you're probably thinking this guy, Roger, talks a lot. Well, you know, my job was to do some of the music. I want to show you this instrument. It is called the Arinbabin. I got paid a little extra to do the music, to sing songs as we paddle, and to play music at night. So here we go. I'll make a little rhythm with my feet. That is called the clogging. And now the Arinbabin, or the jaw harp. That is the sound of Arinbabin. Anyways, after we have our, sometimes the music, the cook, his name was Jean-Luc, and I want to show you something special that he carried. just grab it back here at the camp. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's getting tangled up. Here we go. Now, my friend, he carried in the deerskin pouch. Okay. He carried with him something called the flint and steel. And I see some kids over there. Do you guys want to come over closer? You're welcome to. You don't have to, but it's heads. And we had something called steel. You put the two together. And what do you get? I don't know. Can you see from there? What do you see there? Ah, you see the sparks. Everyone's supposed to go, ooh, this is like Pioneer special effects. Anyways, Jean-Luc would catch one of the sparks on some charred cloth, mix it with bark, and get the fire going, and we would have a delicious meal, a handful of peas and a handful of animal fat. The peas and lard, eh? We became known as the mangers de lard, the eaters of pork.
Hey everyone. Well, my name is Honest Frankie the Frog, and I just want to say a couple words on behalf of us frogs. Now, there are different frogs that live in the wetlands and the lakes and rivers. For instance, the smallest frog's called the spring peeper. Repeat after me. Peep, 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 peep. Or how about the largest frog, the bullfrog? Rup, rup, rup. Or how about the green frog? Goop, goop, goop. Or the leopard frog? Well, get to know your frog song, your frog song, your frog song. Get to know your frog song so you can tell which frogs are singing, which frogs are singing, which frogs are singing way down there in the swamp. Well, oh, wait a minute, everyone, I see a fly. Delicious. Let's see. Oh, yeah, to continue the story, you see, after the lumberjacks came by the river, well, it was about 50 years ago that a lot of people started to come to the lakes and rivers, and things started to change, and you're going to see what happens. I got to hop back to my pad. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, boys, let's move that cement truck in. We've got a lot of work to do, because rumor has it there's a lot of nature stuff and a lot of stinky weeds down on the waterfront here. Jumping, Mackinac, look at that, they're right. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of these stinky weeds. All right. Get rid of that one. This one. Okay. That one. That one's in bloom, but okay, that's gone too. There we go. That looks a little better. Now there's an old saying, many hands make light work. I need to find like a subcontractor, a volunteer, who would like to come up and help me out doing a little bit of work here along the waterfront. Can I find a subcontractor? Let me see. Oh, right there in the front. Do you want to come on up? Now, if you go to the side of the stage and up the steps, I'll get you a construction helmet. Ministry regulations. We have to get you a construction helmet. Come out here. We're going to take this lawn. We're going to unroll the turf, put it right down to the water's edge. You hold on to it, okay? Okay, there we go. I'm going to put this one right here. Put that last one. We still have a few more things to do, okay? All right. Now, we've got a couple more things to do. So now we've got that lawn right up to the water's edge. Now, what I need everyone to do is to turn your imaginations on, because what we have is a genuine, bona fide, prefabricated Viceroy home cottage manufactured in the village of Port Hope, Ontario, and shipped all the way to the waterfront. What I'm trying to say is we're going to put a cottage right along the shoreline. So you follow me. This is where we've got to use a little dramatic effect. Okay. Okay, you make it look heavy. There. Okay. All right. So there we go. Those prefabs go up very quickly. I don't know if everyone can see, but we've just put a cottage right here. But my friend here, the subcontractor, we need to put a roof on. So follow me this way. This is the last part. Ready? Here we go. Got this part. That's pretty heavy. Okay, you hold on to that. Okay. There we go. All right, I'll put the bolts on. I think we've got the roof on there. Let's have a round of applause for our subcontractor. I'll get the helmet there. Give me a high five. Checks in the mail, as they say, so you can just watch yourself on the steps. You can head back down. Okay. So there we go, everyone. Now we've got the house, the cottage there, and you know, I've got a little more. Actually, it is a buyer's market. Does anyone want to make an offer? Well, I'll talk to you after the show. Okay, fellas, we got some more houses to build. Follow me this way. Well, it sure is good to be out of the city. You know, my favorite thing to do, especially on a nice summer's day, is to go for a hike. And I'm just going to make my way down the trail. Hi, everyone. My name is Jacob. And, well, I have to say I'm a bit of a nature nut. You know, I just love to put on my hiking sneakers and get my binoculars and my picnic lunch and, well, go for a bit of a hike. And I'm just going to make my way down the trail here. And my favorite spot is, wait a minute. What happened to the grasses and the flowers? The trees and the bushes? I mean, that's a beautiful home for people, but the home for all of the creatures, well, it's gone. You know, there used to be squirrels and deer and chickadee that lived along here and fish in the water, but, wow, things sure have changed. Wait a minute, everyone. I've got an idea. Now, I just bumped into my friend Glenn, and he knows a whole lot about, plants along the shoreline. I wonder if we could find some volunteers. We could form the restoration team. We could do a bit of a planting. Any volunteers out there? Okay. Well, you wait right there. I'm going to see if I can find Glenn. Hold on, everyone. All right. Well, I just bumped into my friend Jacob, and he was saying that, oh, he's right. Look at that. This shoreline looks like it needs a little attention. Now, anybody who has their hand up, you can come up. Why don't you come right up the side of the stage? I've got some special plants. You want to come up? Yep. You can come up. And you? Yep. That'd be great. Many hands make light work for sure. So just come up the side of the stage, right up on the stage, and we'll get some plants here. We're going to form the Creefest Festival Restoration Team. So come right up to the front of the stage. This is fantastic. We got a lot of helpers. Okay. So you can just sort of stand there for a minute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the shoreline plants. Okay. So hold on. Now, I've got all sorts of plants. I've got a beautiful white pine. I've got a high bush cranberry that the birds love. Red osier dogwood that holds the soil in place. Do you know that cattails actually filter the water and keep it clean? I've got Canadian anemones that have nectar for bees and butterflies. So all sorts of plants. So if you guys could be a nature helper. Now, it looks like there's a lot of you. I hope I have enough here. So you take one and find a spot along the shoreline. Okay. So this is great because now what we have, everyone, is we have a home for people and we have a healthy environment. We've got lots of plants and lots of creatures that depend on those plants, and that's called their habitat. Does anybody know, what does that word habitat mean? Yes. Yeah, very good. Yep, your home. So a home for animals. So this is the habitat song, if you can help me out. The way you remember habitat, if you rub your belly and go, food. And then you go, and then shelter and space to move around. Those are the four things that make up a habitat. And all creatures, every living creature needs a habitat, including people. So help me out here. Very simple song goes like this. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Have to have a habitat to carry on. Well, the river is a habitat. It's a very special habitat. It's where the freshest water's at. For people, fish, and muskrat. When people throw their trash, the river takes the biggest rap. The river is a habitat that we depend on. Help me out now. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Have to have a habitat to carry on. Well, the forest is a habitat. It's a very special habitat. It's where the tallest trees are at. It's where a bear can scratch her back. Keeps the ground from rolling back. Renews the oxygen, in fact. The forest is a habitat that we depend on. One more time, here we go. A habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Habitat, habitat, have to have a habitat. Have to have a habitat to carry on.